Let's do a quick poll. How many of you left your home today thinking that you're going to fail? You're going to fail. I mean, whatever you're going to do, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to while away and you're going to just fail, actually, whatever you want to achieve. Did you leave with that intention? You didn't, right? Do you think your employees who work for you leave with that intention? That they're going to come to office, fail, not deliver, actually? How many of you struggle and feel that your team or the larger people in your organization are not delivering, actually, or they could deliver better? Actually? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay, man. You don't have to feel shy, actually. So 5. Those of you believe that you don't have this problem, you don't have to attend this session, actually. Rest 4, 5, we can just sit down here and have a bit of chit-chat, actually. That's the advantage of doing this session, actually. Okay, so I'll tell you what it occurred to me. I'll give you a bit of my background so that you can understand. Whatever I'm going to speak from heart, actually, because I've done this, actually. So my background, I've been a leader from last 20 years. I used to run a company called Gartner. How many of you have heard of that company? Okay, oh, thanks, yeah. Appreciate, man. Okay, and now I'm building Growth Enabler, actually. We are a London-based company. We have around 20-odd people. We have a presence in London, India, and now we are opening an office in US. And there is one thing I learned is if you really want to build a big company, or if you really want to build a company, you need to think differently. And the reason I asked you first couple of questions was primarily based on that what do you think when you look at your people? If those people who come to your office and join you, and remember, on first day, they want to rock the world, actually. First day when they come to you, they want to ensure that they deliver, and they deliver, more than 100% of their potential, actually. But what I've learned over a period of time, actually, is that most of the people I've met, he says, oh, yeah, I'm not happy with my team, and most of the CEOs, I don't get good people, actually. And if people don't leave their home thinking that they're going to fail, they're not going to deliver, if when you're hiring all these people, you believe they are good and they have the capability, and I know, a lot of people spoke about hiring, a lot of people spoke about specialized hiring, then what's the reason? Where is the gap where people are not able to, deliver against your expectations? And I actually, when I was running, Gartner, we had close to 200 odd people. We were large operations and all that. And there was a different way of managing, different way of hiring. We continued with that, actually. I mean, I'll just share with you some of the people we have been able to hire and who stayed with us, actually. So the Growth Enabler CTO was also the ex-chief architect for Formula One, actually. How many of you know Formula One, actually, right? I mean, I can tell you, if he decides to walk out, anybody can hire him, IBM, Google, and all that. The fact he's decided to join and work with us, there was something which was going on, and I'll share that with you. My VP for engineering, okay, he's got a 20 years of neural network, AI, and machine learning experience, actually. I can tell you these are hot skills today, those who are not from IT. He's got 10 patents to himself. He doesn't have to work with me. Again, same thing, actually. So there is a reason joined. And those are the things I'm going to share with you, actually. My head of insights and intelligence was my colleague in Gartner, actually. 20 years of experience, actually. He can again go out and work for any large intelligence and research company. Doesn't have to work with us. Works with us, very happy with us, actually. And there are fundamentally few things which I learned, we felt, and I personally felt works, actually. And I'm quickly going to share those things with you, actually. When we decided to build, I have another partner in crime. My co-founder is based out of London. That's the reason we are based out of that place. There's one thing we were rooted to. We said, whatever we do, we're going to ensure that the culture of our company is great. Okay? And I can tell you, the culture of your company is not the lip service. Culture of your company is, to some extent, what you believe in, but I can tell you to a large extent, what you live and how you behave. The culture of your company is what you recognize. If you only recognize high-performance people, if you only recognize people who are delivering sales, then you're probably losing out on something that people who have done honesty, people who have traits, that they went beyond call of the duty, Okay? You're not going to see all those things in an organization. And these are the small, small things which started to stack up and made sense. And that's the anecdote I'm going to share with you, what personally I've learned over a period of last 20, 25 years. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you? That's it. I like that. Okay, here is a question for you. You can raise your hand or you can hide yourself, but it's there for you actually. Do you find, just go back, man. Just go back. Okay, let me just go back. Okay, I'll manage it. Is it working? Okay. Do you find it difficult to retain and motivate top performing talent? I'll tell you, I still find it difficult actually, because I still feel every day that there is a possibility there are better people out there who can pay them well and they can take their. Okay? So I grapple with this problem every day. Okay. So how do you solve it then? If you have decided a rock star or if you have hired a rock star, how do you ensure that, okay, they stay with you? So the first question comes to you is, if somebody is a rock star and you have hired and she is working with you and they are delivering more than what you expect and you're really happy, the queasy feeling comes in. What if he joins a competition? Actually, what's going to happen to me? I have a question for you when you think about it. Read these questions, and you don't have to answer me. Have you ever asked these people what drives them? Why are they working for you? Have you ever had that candid conversation with them? Where you went up to them and said, look, I know you're a great guy. I know you're a performer. I know anybody can hire you actually. Can you just tell me what is driving you? Why do you work for us? And it's an honest and scary conversation that's going to open up the eyes. That's going to tell you what they look inside your company you probably don't know, actually, and that you need to know. Actually. Okay? The other thing I learned, which was a misnomer actually, for me for a long, long time, which I changed around 10 years back, is I used to think the people who work for me, they come to office because they work for me. And the entire thing got shattered when I did a little bit of traits interview, because I hire people on traits, actually, and I asked them, can you tell me why do you come to the work? Actually. Then I realized everyone has their own goals that's very close to them. And because those goals are important to them, they really work hard to achieve those goals. They don't come to make you look good, and they definitely don't come to make your company look like a rock star or ensure that you become a 100 crore company. That was a big realization for me. Correct? When I realized that, guess what I did? I began to care what they care for, not about what I care for. If I cared for people who have discipline, I actually didn't care after that. I wanted to know what drives them, actually. And I can tell you, there are some people who are profound. They had a larger impact. If you look at Mustafa, he'll come across very profound, actually. He wanted to go back and change, and based on that, he wanted to change it. Right? That's a very profound vision. The other thing he shared with me when we were together coming back from Coimbatore, and I shared, he said, look, I'm never going to build something that directly goes onto the kitchen table. I'm going to build something which gets cooked in the kitchen and is fresh and then goes to the table, actually, and who gets the credit, actually? The wife. And if something is bad, I'm ready to take the blame, actually. Okay? These are the things people realize it, actually. And I also met across people who said, listen, I'm very materialistic. Yeah, with my first year salary and all that, I want to buy a car. After 5 years, I want to buy a house. And I was okay with that. As long as they could convince me that what are they willing to sacrifice to do that. Forget, don't work for me, I get it. Don't work for the company you work for. At least for what you have decided to work, are you willing to give 100% for that? And it's important for you to know that. Because if that's the reason which brings them to the office and get 100% out of that, please do not take away from that, because they're going to leave you and they're going to join an organization which gives them a platform to achieve what they want to achieve. Does it make sense? The other thing I learned was, there are situations people really enjoy. Okay? So, I meet various kinds of people. So there is an individual I know, and part of my company. He really enjoys owning up and building something. You just need to share with him this needs to be done, give him a milestone, and I can tell you, you don't have to ask him. Just tell him that these needs to be done, this is important for our clients. You don't have to ask him, he'll work 12 hours. Guess what will irritate him? If you start micromanaging and managing and says, do this. Because after that, he needs independence. It's important for you to know your team and say, what motivates you actually? Give me a situation you enjoy actually. And please ensure that those situations you are creating. And I can tell you it's incredibly hard job. Because if you thought manager and leadership is an easy thing, welcome to it. A lot of people, when I used to work, he said, no, Rajeev, I want to become a manager. Actually. I said, yeah, sure. Tell me in last 2 years, a situation you have shown leadership. I said, no, nobody asked me. I said, that's the problem. If you're waiting for an opportunity where somebody say, oh, become a manager and start hammering everyone, actually, so that they work, then you lost it out. Says, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And I think every time somebody gets manager, that's what they think, that they've got now the right to ask everyone, come at 9 o'clock, when I call you, show up in front of me, when I tell you, deliver this. Actually. Ask yourself, if I treat you like that, would you like it? And the other thing dawned on me, that human beings are a bundle of emotion. To fulfill that emotion, which they call ego or satisfaction, they will give all types of rational reason and then bring it down to that because it's close to their heart. If they want to buy a house, and if that's the reason they come to the office, they'll do everything to show you they're performing well. But ultimately, their entire justification coming to one emotional reason. I want to buy a house, and I want to show it everyone I grew up with that I bought before you. Actually. Just simple emotions. Actually. The reason I started with this emotion is that if you do not know what drives your team, most likely you're going to do things that pisses them off. That is a situation that doesn't motivate them, and they're going to leave you. That's a recipe for disaster. So whatever you do, today when you go back, list down the people who report to you and find out why do they come to your office and work. Because if this is what drives them, and if that environment is not conducive to that, that's the reason they are coming and failing in your expectation. Is that okay? Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. No, that was not, but I genuinely meant that. Actually, I appreciate it. Okay. The next thing, you would have seen that 4 things, right? Once you know what drives them, what is important to them, actually, then comes the next thing, actually. Okay? Expectation. And I'm going to ask you one simple question on that, actually. Again, a show of hand, actually. This is not to embarrass you because I've gone through this journey and I've learned it. I've been lucky, I've been coached by some great leaders across the globe, and they've taught me all these things, actually. How many of you have a written expectation letter for all your employees? Wow. Wow. Those of you raised hand, can you just get up? Because this is really a time to recognize both of you guys. Actually, great job. Can I ask one of you if you can give the mic to that lady? Actually, what drove you to do that? Because it's very unusual for me to get this kind of audience. Actually, so I really want to the lady this side, please.
I think for me it was primarily, basically for the company, it was primarily to understand clearly and put down in black and white what you were going to give me, and at the end of a review session, look at whether that was delivered or not.
Thank you very much. I'm definitely going to ask you, sir. Don't feel that I'm a little biased to the male people, actually. So, what drove you to put together an expectation letter?
So I run basically a security agency, a risk consultancy cum security vertical. I'm Colonel Vineet Seth. So
I'm not surprised.
The expectations are set. The person knows what he's supposed to do and what you expect out of him. That is very important, that you lay out what you want to expect from him, and that is how you can expect a delivery out of that man. Yeah. If your expectations are ambiguous, you cannot expect a person to perform to your expectations.
So true. Okay, so I'm going to share something which you're going to enjoy, because I continue to say that is that when you say do this, please give them the tools also. After this presentation, those of you who are interested in getting how to build an expectation letter, because you can't go back home and say, now, thanks for telling me expectation letter. What do I how do I write actually? What happens in that? So I have a copy of that. I'm happy to share it with you actually. Or I'll give it to Satish. You can download it from that website actually. So those of you who said, yes, I have an expectation letter, let's just do a bit of compare notes actually. Okay, expectation letter actually. Do your team member, employees know what is expected out of them? The other thing of writing expectation letter was, and we will come to that, is if you have written an expectation letter and if they don't meet, what happens? Yeah, just park this thought. We're going to have a bit of chit chat on that actually. Okay, and these are some of the ingredients of an expectation letter actually. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you whether you have these ingredients actually. The first thing I learned was, and I'll give you an example. How many of you have heard about Bhakra Nangal Dam? A lot of hands, which is good. I should ask easy question where everyone says, yeah, that's what it is. So my father told me a story, interesting story. You know, as you're growing up, they're going to paint those things to you. Actually. He says, son, let me just tell you one thing. And this is what you need to look at life in when you're working. And it's still very close to my heart. Actually. So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru visited when the Bhakra Nangal Dam was being constructed. And he asked one of the laborers, what are you doing? And guess what his answer was? Can't you see? I'm carrying this block of mud on my head. He says, oh, thank you. I appreciate you doing this work. Then he went further. He asked another laborer, what are you doing? He says, I'm building Asia's biggest dam. You see, both were doing same job. Yeah? Why it is important to have vision? Because people don't connect with task. They connect with what is the big thing you are doing they can get inspired with and come to office. And I can tell you, you can never inspire people by saying that I'm building a 100 crore company. He says, yeah, sure, you're building it. You're going to be rich, actually. So what? It's important you build a vision which is larger than life, which connects with people's heart and mind, actually. That was another thing which I learned, actually. So, you know, when I used to do vision, mission, and says, oh yeah, we're going to be a $30 million company in India, we're going to do that. Nobody connected with it, actually. Suddenly, one time I changed the vision, actually. He says, we're going to ensure that every corporation, okay, the productivity per employee goes up because we're going to advise them to ensure that the automation goes to next level. Suddenly, everyone was listening. He says, wow, that's a great thing to do. Let's just do it together. And then we build a theme, you know, in it to win it for 2012 and all that. Everyone got connected. So ensure that you're not building that I'm going to build a 300-seater building. We're going to be a 400 people organization and all that. It's all good for you because it's good for your ego that you run a 400 people or 4,000 people organization. To them, they want to know what is the biggest difference I'm making. The other thing I learned, which was very, very important, was, you know, you need to connect that big picture with them. And the reason I gave you Bhakra Nangal Dam, because the lowest level of job somebody can do that is pick up brick of, you know, those bricks and take it from one place to other place. But if you can connect it that, look, you're building Asia's biggest dam and what you're doing is really important, then you're fueling their expectation and inspiration. So then they are connected with two things, your purpose, their mission, what they enjoy doing. Because the other thing I learned from people when I started doing recognition, actually, and that I learned was that, you know, when you invite people here, shake hand and gives you memento, actually to me it doesn't matter. Not that I disrespect what is being done. It'll go to my house in one corner and all that. But what happened was someday, and I have a lot of respect for my parents, like everybody actually, and I want them to know that whatever I'm doing, you know, is something good actually. So somebody picked up the phone and he knew what I cared for in life and called up my parents and said, look, you know, Rajeev is a great guy. He's done an incredible job, actually. I still remember that recognition. And you think giving them a bonus was a good thing? Yes and no, if somebody was very interested in buying next house and car, actually. But this was etched in my memory. Actually. And these are the things which is important, actually. Not occur to you. It doesn't cost money. Okay? You don't have to spend. You just have to be mindful and aware about these things. Actually. The other thing people learned was, just by show of hand, tell me, who have not done, okay, so it's a simple thing actually. How many of you do mistakes while doing a job actually, or any work you're doing? All of you, right? Yeah, all of it. It's a very normal thing, actually. How do you handle a situation when your subordinate employee does a similar mistake? Yeah, I'm glad you're laughing, actually, right? Listen, it's okay to do a mistake, actually. It's how you handle it. If I've done a mistake, and if you come and tell me you've done a mistake, are you helping me? Are you serious? Do I not know? What I'm looking for a little bit of love and affection, actually, in your understanding. It's a human being, actually. And these are the small things I begin to learn which counts in life, actually. Correct? So, just keep that in mind, that you're dealing with a human being who's a bundle of emotion. Wow, 11 seconds left, actually. Let me just quickly do that. No effective motivation. I told you about motivation, right? Just picking up a phone, calling up their brother, sister, whatever they care for, including their wife, actually. So I just wanted to recognize ABC, he's done a great job, actually, okay? The other thing people cared for is that, thanks for giving me high salary. Can you just tell me, I'll take another 5 minutes, actually. Can you just tell me, where do you see myself in this organization? And where do I see myself in this organization? If I don't see my future here, and the growth of the company. So every time I tell people, right, when we are hiring, this is what we are looking at, these are the vision, and guess what, as we grow, I need these kind of people, actually. Suit yourself who fancy himself or herself in that kind of a job, actually, and start getting ready, because I'm going to sit with you and do your individual development plan, actually, based on that, professional and personal, actually. Okay? And finally, look, it's a hard word, especially if people are in startup, it's a 24/7. You work incredibly hard, actually. Ensure that there's a bit of downtime at the end of the week, actually. Enjoy whatever you do. In fact, you don't have to spend anything in a downtime, actually. Just go to Cubbon Park, those who are from Bangalore, just do a small picnic, actually, and ask everybody to bring food from home. And the reason I say this thing is that you don't have to take them to an expensive hotel and say, eat, actually. And everyone is going to keep quiet because the manager is sitting there, actually. You say, oh my God, what a torture of a dinner, yeah, actually. Okay? So here are some of the ingredients of the expectation ladder. Put your mission, put your vision, value, guidelines, principle, recognition. Okay? The reason I said is that if you look at last thing, okay, you can read through rest of the, only the last point I want to highlight, actually, okay? If you make your expectation letter that's result focused, you've lost the game. If you decided your company should do 20 crore, and it only did 10 crore, actually, somebody should come and shoot you for that. Not really, right? What was important is that, did you do enough and all the activities for you to get there, actually? I always say measure activities, because when people do higher activities, they deliver those kind of results, actually. So please, do not add results, actually, because what it does is that there is only one parameter you're measuring on. Either you failed or you passed, actually. That's a very bad way of measuring people, actually. Very, very bad way of measuring people. Because you don't know 1,000 times he or she did things which they passed. Okay, let me just quickly come to measurement, actually. How many of you, by show of hand, have a weekly review, plan and review call in their calendar, in your calendar with your direct reports? Actually? A little more show of hand, actually. Those who don't have, ensure that you put it in the calendar, actually. And when you put it, ensure that you have an agenda. And this is how the agenda looks like, actually. You need to prepare, because you're asking someone to spend 1 hour of their time not doing the job they're supposed to do and tell you what they did last week and what they're going to do next week, actually. So ensure that you prepare for that, actually. Do some rapport building. We all are human beings. You don't know whether I fought with my wife and came to office today, actually. And the last thing you want to do, you didn't deliver, actually. I say, yeah, thank God. That's what she said in the morning also. Thank you for reminding me that I'm a loser, actually. Okay?
Can we just wind up, because in the interest of time? If this presentation is available and if you can put it online,
yeah,
that'll be
please
great.
Yeah.
Just final thoughts to wrap up. And
let me just go through that review, plan, summarize. Always follow up, okay? Don't think that you have just spoken and after that never follow up, actually. I always put a 20 minutes call 15 days from now and say, look, what's going on? Can you just tell me? Because you want to tell them, I care for what we have agreed, actually. Okay? Finally, those who said, you have a rock star team. Those who said, I don't have a rock star team, there is a way to hire them. Okay? Just go through it, actually. There is one thing I want you to take home, actually. Okay? There is a question attached, how to find out, is that I do not hire people on skills. Because I think skills can be taught. Those who won all the skills and they can go to IIM and learn that, that's teachable. Hire people on traits, because then only they're going to take an extra step to go out of their comfort zone and deliver. Skill never allows you to do that. It's your drive towards your life. How do you handle disappointment? What's your commitment to purpose, actually? If you don't want to get up to train and come to office and give you 100% for your own goals, guess what? For your goals, anyway, they are not interested, actually. Okay? And, look for their short-term, long-term goals, actually. So I'm gonna just wind up all these things. It was a rush presentation. Normally, sometimes it's a half-a-day session because I've done it for Mustafa and team. This is very close to my heart, actually. So the presentation of this copy is available. There is two things available here which you can, expectation letters, there is a thing which I've created which you can tailor it to your needs for your organization. The other things is that I've created I think 15, 20 odd questions where you can actually do a trade-based interview and hire people, actually. Because I've always felt that people who are higher on trades, they can pick up skill, actually, and they can be successful. People who don't want to be successful, don't have a drive, God bless them. And it's nothing you can do about them. Thank you, appreciate. Sorry, there's
Thank
less
you very
time
much,
here.
Rajeev. Thank you very much.